So hello guys, and welcome back to another analysis in our channel. So today we're going to look at the 1-1 draw that happened at the Etihad on Saturday. So in our video today we're going to discuss what weakness did Chelsea expose in the Pep Guardiola's Manchester City system that made them so exploitive of Pep Guardiola's system, especially in the first half. So Guardiola is a manager who's known to have almost a perfect system to deal with his opponents. However, in this game, Chelsea actually exposed Manchester City in a place where top teams might try to exploit them, especially in the Premier League as well as in the Champions League. So Mauricio Pochettino in the first half tactically outclassed Pep Guardiola, and he actually managed to create a lot of chances and expose Manchester City's fragile back line. And in our video today, we are going to look at some of the players that he used to exploit this Manchester City system. So one player that Pochettino really relied upon was Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is an intelligent player who knows when to drop in pockets of space to receive the ball and enable his team to build effectively from the back. And we are going to see how Cole Palmer helped and enabled Chelsea to expose this weakness. Before we even start, do not forget to like, share and subscribe for more videos like this. So we know very well that Chelsea like to build from the back with centre backs spreading wide and their full backs starting wide with their two double pivots dropping deep. So Manchester City usually press in a 4-4-2 system. As you can see here, Manchester City having a front four in the press with Foden and Doku ready to press the two centre backs, while De Bruyne and Haaland sit on the double pivots. So this pressing strategy was what was causing Manchester City a problem, especially when the ball would be played to Disasi. Palmer would be dropping from his right wing position to try and occupy this inside position. Now, because of this strategy where Manchester City's forwards, rather than pressing the two centre backs, were reserved rather to sit on the two double pivots, because if they had pressed the two centre backs, then Enzo and Caicedo would have received the ball and Chelsea would have been able to effectively build through the middle. And because Guardiola understands how Enzo and Caicedo are so competent on the ball, he wanted to limit them any time and space in possession. So he deployed De Bruyne and Haaland to sit on them. Now, in this case, Chelsea, Petrovic's only option was to play the ball wide to the centre backs. And here in the centre backs position is where you would see either when Levi Colwill would receive the ball and look to attempt to play a first time pass to either Ben Chilwell, who was playing as the fullback in these kinds of position. So this intense setup will allow the fullbacks to be free to receive the ball in these kinds of case. Now, in some instances, down the right is where actually Chelsea looked quite threatening, not down the left, because down the right, Chelsea had options with having good and capable players on the ball. Disasi was quite great, especially when he had the ball at his feet, because when Disasi had this ball at his feet, he was not afraid to hold on to the ball so that he can draw in a press and immediately play. You see the position of Haaland and De Bruyne is tying up both Enzo and Caicedo. So Disasi, rather than playing the ball backwards to the goalkeeper, he attempts a penetrative pass to the middle of the park where Cole Palmer could receive. And you can see how Enzo has already shifted. Now, in this case, Disasi will receive the ball and immediately play the ball to Cole Palmer. Because of the position of Conor Gallagher, he was tying up Julian Alvarez. And since when the ball was being played to Cole Palmer, Alvarez was quite slow to try and track him, as well as Rodri, who was covering Conor Gallagher, was playing in between the lines high up the pitch. And since when Cole Palmer would receive the ball, he will immediately draw Alvarez, while Gusto will immediately draw Nathan Ake. And down the left is where we saw Manchester City's weakness, because now Ake was being left in a 2v1 situation. This was creating a gap in Manchester City's backline. So you can see here, Ake has been drawn out of position, and now Palmer can see the runs of Gusto in the space vacated by Ake. So Palmer plays that ball, and now you can see Chelsea have moved from a defensive situation and now are in attacking situation, and they have many players attacking the box. And this was quite the weakness that Chelsea were really exposing on Manchester City's side. Because of the position of Cole Palmer dropping deep and Malo Gusto starting wide, Chelsea always had a 2v1 against Nathan Ake. And this really created problems for Manchester City, because now when Nathan Ake was drawn, we started to see Gusto playing these diagonal crossfield passes, especially for the runs of Sterling and Nicholas Jackson. And this is what generally made Jackson and Sterling to have good chances in the first half. Here, Palmer receives the ball, is able to tie up two players, and you can see Gusto is immediately trying to make runs in that space vacated. Jackson identifies this position and is now trying to hold on to the ball and is wanting to make that run in between the center backs. You can see here that now Palmer has managed to evade the two Manchester City's players, and now Palmer manages to play a first time ball in space, and you can see Jackson is readily making that run in space. These runs created by Jackson, who will easily outpace Ruben Dias, was a great advantage for Chelsea, especially in the first half. Now, Jackson in this position would outpace Ruben Dias, and this is actually what led to Raheem Sterling's goal, since Jackson managed to make a crossfield pass for Sterling, who managed to make a brilliant goal out of it, destroying Kyle Walker and managing to carve a very good ball the far post, making Chelsea to immediately go 1-0 up. So Pep Guardiola decided to instruct Alvarez to now start to press Gusto, and now Chelsea moved into a midfield three, with Enzo Fernandez now pushing forward to play alongside Conor Gallagher, and this now created a 2v1 against Rodri. And now Palmer was not required to drop deep, but rather Conor Gallagher would be the one to drop and receive the ball. Now, because of these 2v1 situations, we started to see Petrovic starting to go long, especially to Jackson, who will win the ball and immediately have midfielders behind him ready to receive the ball. And Conor Gallagher would like to link this play up by playing the ball to Palmer, who will immediately draw Ake and create space, especially for Malo Gusto, who will be making runs down these wide areas. So Gusto in these wide areas was quite influential, because you can see from this clip here, after Palmer has already played the ball, you can see how Gusto has acres of space to play the ball. And actually, this is a goal in which Chelsea should have scored in the first half. And it's just that Nicholas Jackson was not quite direct. If Jackson would have just gone direct and immediately picked a position and hit the ball with force, he would have beaten Ederson, and Chelsea would have already gone 1-0 up, and they would have gone into the second half with a 2-goal lead. So that is one way in which Chelsea really exploited Manchester City, and this was the deployment of Cole Palmer as a player who would be dropping deep and receiving the ball directly from the center backs. The position of Palmer was creating a lot of problems even for Alvarez, and we saw an impressive nutmeg when he managed to dribble past Alvarez, and this gave Chelsea numerical advantages high up the pitch, with players such as Sterling making those runs behind Manchester City's defense line. Now, this position prompted Guardiola to be asking his wingers to be pressing Chelsea's centre backs, and this now also created another problem for Manchester City, because now Chelsea had numerical advantages in midfield, because both Palmer and Conor Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez will come in midfield, and this will enable the fullbacks to easily receive the ball in space and immediately look to progress with the ball forward, creating numerical overloads against Manchester City. But Pep Guardiola showcased once again why he is one of the best managers in the league by managing to come up with a counter move in the second half. And that counter move in the second half limited Chelsea, how Chelsea were able to build through Manchester City in the first half. And the failure of Mauricio Pochettino to make flexible changes to these situations actually prompted Chelsea to be quite under pressure in the second half. But overall, in the first half, this weakness was highly exposed, and if Manchester City were playing a more dominant side like Liverpool with elite players such as Trent and Mo Salah exploiting this position, then the game would have been over in the first half. Credit goes to Cole Palmer, who was able to be dropping deep in these positions to receive the ball and immediately look to play long balls and penetrative passes to his forwards. So this was the weakness that Chelsea exposed to Manchester City. Thanks for watching.